Last time I talked to you about 1 point perspective. So 1 point perspective is when you have your horizon line and 1 point at which all the lines converge. So 1 point perspective is good for drawing 3D objects when the front of the object is facing towards you. But it has its limitations, so it's a good idea to learn how to draw 2 point perspective. You can see in 2 point perspective your verticals are still straight like in 1 point perspective, but now the horizontal lines are now at an angle because they're angled towards 2 vanishing points. It gives you a more realistic looking box. It's a little bit more tricky than 1 point perspective, but once you master it, it's good for drawing especially buildings and landscapes. So I will show you how to do 2 point perspective. We will look at drawing a building, and then we'll look at drawing the interior of a room where the corner of the room is receding away from you. It's a little bit more tricky, but we'll take it step by step. But first, let's start with the basics of 2 point perspective. So just like with 1 point perspective, you start with your horizon line. Your horizon line is your eye level. Okay, so let's just for the moment put it here. So this is a straight line. And with 2 point perspective, you have 2 points. So let's put a point here and a point here. Now, it's a good idea to have your points not too close together, to have them as far out to the edge of the paper to give you a bit of maneuverability, because otherwise your angles would be very acute and it would be a little tricky to draw. So make sure your points are further out on the line. So this is vanishing point 1. And this is vanishing point 2. This is your horizon line, which is your eye level. Okay? So now I've got my 2 points and I've got my horizon line. So this time, instead of drawing a box to start with, you just want to draw a corner. So let's draw a line here. Okay? So I'm going to draw below the horizon line. And all you do is you line up the bottom of the line you just drew to your horizon line and the top, and the same to the other vanishing point. Now I'm going to decide how wide I want my box to be. I'm going to say this about this wide. Now remember, your verticals are still dead straight, so make sure that your vertical is dead straight. So this time I line up my horizon line to the top of the line here, this vanishing point to the top of the line here. And now you have a 3D box. But let's just put it in the back of the box just to see how you would do that. So you line your vanishing point up to this line here. I'm going to do this slightly. And your other vanishing point to the other corner here. And where the two intersect, you do your straight line and join it up to the final corner here. Okay, so that would be the back of the box there, or here as well could be the back of the box. So just to make that a little bit more clear. So because this box is below your eye level, you can see the top of the box and the two sides. So that's how to do a box below your horizon line. Let's do one above the horizon line. Okay, so again we'll just make sure that our verticals are dead straight. Let's do it here this time. And now we line it up again. The bottom of the line to the vanishing point, the top of the line to the vanishing point, and same with the other side. decide how wide you want your box to be, so making sure your verticals are dead straight. And then we'll just join up the corner to the vanishing point here, and the other corner to the other vanishing point. And again, just when you're doing these first, it's a good idea just to practice getting the back of the box. So line up the corner here to your vanishing point. I'm going to do this lightly, maybe a little darker so you can see it. And the other vanishing point to the other corner here. And where the two lines intersect, so I'm bringing it to the base of the box here. And that becomes the back of your box there, okay? So just let's go over this so you can see it properly. So this is the side of your box. Now because this time you're looking up at the box, you can see the bottom of the box. Okay, so that's how to do it above your horizon line. Now, just so to make things a little less confusing, I'm going to do what happens if it's on the horizon line on a new page. So like before, we just do our straight line for horizon line. Make sure it's dead straight. Put our two vanishing points. And decide where we want our line to be. Now, it doesn't have to be exactly the same amount above the line and below the line. So let's put a good bit above the line and just a little bit below the line. And just like before, you line up the bottom of the line to your vanishing points and the top of the line. Then you decide how wide you want your box to be. I do mine about this wide. Making sure your verticals are straight. So you can see already it's beginning to look like a building with the corner coming at you. So this is a very handy technique for drawing buildings and geometric objects. So now we get our vanishing point, line it up to the top of this line. Okay, and we get our vanishing point, line it up to the top of that line. Okay, and then join up the point where the two of them meet. And that becomes the back of the box there, okay? So I know this is a little tricky. So what I did was the line that was furthest from the right, I joined up the top and the bottom. And the line on the left, I lined up with my vanishing point and joined up the top and the bottom. And where the two lines intersect, I drew a line to join the other intersection, and that happens to be, if you've done it right, that happens to be dead straight vertical line. And then that, as you can see, if this is the front of the box here, that becomes the back of the box. I know it's a little tricky to see, but let's make these lines a bit stronger so you can see it. So if we say that's the front of the building, and this is the side of the building. Now, normally when we're drawing buildings, they're not see-through, so you don't really need to do the back of the box, but it's just to show you how to do it. So let's do it again without doing the back of the box. So that's how to draw 3D objects using 2 vanishing points, using 2-point perspective. Okay, so go away and practice that, and I will show you then how to put this into practice by drawing buildings, and also how to draw the interior of a room, which is a little bit more tricky, especially if the interior of the room is receding away from you, but we'll take it step by step. Okay.